Welcome to Season 7, the NGO Grit. This season, Just Talk Therapy podcast brings you the stories of some amazing people who dedicated their time, money, energy, etc. selflessly, just for a cause. They held humanity first and thus made a difference in the society in their own ways. Today, we have an inspirational lady, Ms. Archana Suresh, with her NGO, Bring a Smile Foundation. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Hina ji. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you for your time. And if you can just tell our listeners about yourself and the NGO.
Sure, of course. So my name is Archana Suresh, and I'm founder and managing trustee of a registered charitable trust called Bring a Smile Foundation. We started in Hyderabad in the year 2012. Back then, the objective was to be a conduit between the haves and the have-nots. So essentially, क्या हुआ था कि my mom in a casual conversation had asked, if we could somehow channelize items that we all have in our homes, whether it is used but reusable clothes, toys, footwear, whether we could move these items from our homes to areas and to people that need it. So what started in 2012 as an attempt to, accelerate that objective has grown to a mini movement, if I may. In 2022, we are a completely volunteer-run NGO. We are 500 people all over the world. We collect these items that are found in homes, and we distribute them to the poor and underprivileged in the cities and also rural parts of Telangana in particular, because we are in touch with the district administration in a lot of districts in Telangana. We also support three pillars: education, healthcare, infrastructure assistance. So, education is we've sponsored the education of more than 300 students. We've helped in payment of medical bills of a lot of people along the way, and we've built classrooms in government schools. We just finished renovating 70 toilets in a government girls' school near Nagarjun Sagar Dam. And we've sponsored books and uniforms and stationery, the works really for students. So that in a nutshell has been the Bring a Smile journey over the past 10 years. And of course, needless to add, nothing would have been possible without the wonderful support of people on the team and some very generous donors that we've met along the way. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you are targeting especially the important areas that is so valuable for those people who are in need. Especially when you talk about the toilet part and the infrastructure, the renovation of the schools and all, that is like so much needed right now.
Thank you, Hinaji. Yes, of course. I mean, I think, especially for girl children, the dropout rate of girls students from government schools is very high because they don't have access to toilets. So, there was a need, and like I said, we keep servicing these requests whenever they come to us because, the aim and objective is to improve the quality of students in particular, children and students, because they are the future of the country. So we've got to do as much as we can to sort of make them future ready. And yes, during COVID also, just in one quarter, April to June last year, 2021, when there was, the second wave, we deployed more than 10 lakh rupees worth of relief. So sent a lot of provisions to migrant workers. Humanity has really suffered over the past 2 years, ever since the pandemic struck. So the aim is to try and, just alleviate suffering to whatever extent possible.
And hats off to you and to the entire team for doing this work selflessly, as I mentioned earlier.
Thank you.
And what inspired you to do this kind of work? You did mention that it was a casual conversation which took the shape of this NGO.
Yes, actually, in 2012, in the beginning, my mom, in a casual conversation on the phone, had asked me, can you do something like this? Because she was rummaging through the cupboard for something, and she could find everything else except what she was looking for. So I think that set her thinking, and she thought that, if I am going through this, I'm sure there are lots of people who will empathize with this, right? Because we have a lot of stuff in our cupboards, our shelves that we may not use. And
Absolutely.
in a country like India, where poverty is so stark, she told this, she mentioned this to me, and in 2012, I had just my daughter was barely 1 year old. I have just one child. Of course, she's 10 years old now. But I was so busy with my daughter, ऐसे होता है ना with moms and dads. We are, always in a hurry to sort of finish a conversation and move on to something else that's on our to-do list. So I'm like, okay, Mama, let's see what, okay, I'll talk to you later. It was one of those conversations. But I think somewhere my mom sowed the seed of that idea. And in 2012, when we conducted this collection drive in my apartment community, where I stay in an apartment community where there are 600 flats or apartments in Hyderabad, and there were 40 households that came forward and donated so many clothes, toys, books, footwear. Somebody donated a fan, somebody donated a TV. So it was a ton of items that really came to us. And speaking of which, from 2012 to 2022, we literally distributed more than 80 tons of items. So that's a
Wow.
mammoth figure, yeah.
I know.
Because it's been quite a long journey, and like they say in Hindi, right? लोग जुटते गए, कारवां बढ़ता गया. A lot of
Absolutely.
people, wonderful people really joined the effort. And I still remember this one incident when we were, just before the collection drive in October 2012. I remember the newspaper wala told me, Madam, మీరు charity కోసం చేస్తుంటే నేను ఫ్రీగా distribute చేస్తాను. Which meant that he said, I will distribute pamphlets free, letting people know of this initiative of yours. If you're doing this for charity, I will do it for you free of cost. So, it is a classic case, Hina, of that line
Correct.
in The Alchemist, when you really want to do something, the whole universe conspires to make it happen, right? जिस चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो तो फिर पूरी कायनात, जुट जाती है to make it happen. So it was a lot of people coming together over the years. And my mother used to say that people want to help, they just don't know how to.
Absolutely.
So,
Because that is
you
very
know,
important.
right, and that's very true and relevant, right, of the times we live in. And this happened in 2012. What happened, unfortunately, during that year was that my mother was diagnosed with third stage breast cancer. So 2013 went by in a blur because I was taking her for her chemotherapy sessions, trips to hospitals. I was also working for a company. I was working for Microsoft at that point, and so I've spent 14 years working for the corporate, Hinaji. So, and Bring a Smile was an endeavor that went on alongside a full-time job and looking after my daughter. And, my husband, of course, has been a big support. But essentially, the idea was my mother's. And then in 2013, she was, we were treating her for cancer. In 2014, my world broke because she passed away in June. And it just, her death completely shattered me. And I think I made a resolve to myself that I would try and be an instrument of help in whatever way possible, wherever I could be from then on. And so to answer your question, Bring a Smile Foundation is an ode to my mom's spirit of compassion and kindness, really. So, yeah.
Firstly, I'm sorry for your loss. And
Thank you.
yes, indeed, she had sown the seeds, and she has taught, probably now listening to you also, and I'm sure others can relate, how to detach with the emotional attachment with things and convert it to bring a smile in others' life. And that reverberates with your foundation name.
Thank you.
Yes, and of course, you said that that was a tough moment, but then how did you cope during those tough moments?
I think, yes, it was a very dark period after I lost her, also because, you don't realize how attached or close one is to a parent or to a loved one till they leave the world. So I think in my case, I joke that I have a very strong doer spirit. So I wanted to, of course, try and be of some use to humanity. And there was also constant. I think there's also faith or prayer, right? That sometimes when you go through lows, you turn to a higher power, right? To try and just begging to be shown the light. So that so I think that faith in a higher power saw me through this, and also I leaned heavily on some close friends, because I think friends and family, the ones who know you, will understand your pain, if you communicate it to them. So it was that combination of friends and family and faith in the maker, or God, or a higher power, that saw me through that phase, really.
And your mother
Yes.
had actually shown you the path where to lead, and that's where you are leading and bringing the smile because, as you said, people want to help, but they don't know how to help.
Hmm.
So she
Hmm.
had actually told you how you can be of help.
In some ways, ironically, yes, yeah, you're right. I mean, she, I think, laid the foundation, and then of course we're trying to build in whatever little small way we can.
You're doing
So
amazing
yeah,
work.
thank you.
And anything that you would like to share with the youth, or how the youth can contribute, or what should they do as they are also pursuing their career or their own personal life?
Yes, actually, so I lost my mom when I was 32 years old, and essentially, when we started out, when I started out on Big Smile, there was no template that I could have followed. So my quick 2 cents to the youth is, one is, there's no point cribbing about a system or a status quo unless you can roll up your sleeves and get to work and change it. So, of course, Mahatma Gandhi once said that be the change you want to be. So it is, of course, an earnest appeal to a lot of youngsters listening, that they should, you know, get up and be the change, really, instead of maybe lamenting about lapses in our administration or our system, really. And of course, I also believe that people should start small. There's no point saying, मैं जब 35 की हो जाऊंगी, and once I earn enough money to buy a 1 bedroom flat, I will start doing charity. I don't think it works like that. You need to start small. You need to start with something as small as you're packing the leftovers after you eat at a restaurant and giving it away to somebody who will really treasure the meal, or not diverting the roads. I still find people littering roads, right? Bus में जा रहे हैं, auto या car में जा रहे हैं, and then you're eating a banana, and then you actually toss the peel out of the window. So it is. I just think that to make a difference, we just have to watch our own actions, and if everybody does that, then the big picture will take care of itself. So start small, if whether it means looking for attempting to sponsor partially even the fees of your maid's daughter or son, or your driver's kid, or a security guard's kid, really. So start small, but keep at it, because the other thing I've learned over the past 10 years is that you have to be very persevering in whatever you do, yes, but more so in the development sector, because there's so much that needs to be done, right? When you help one person, there'll be another 10 people who will line up, who will queue up, or who will need that kind of help. So it's important to stay, patient, and be persevering in your efforts. And it's also important to get started. Don't postpone it to a later date when you think you'll have the money or the time or the bandwidth. So start small, but just start.
That's a very good reminder for all of us to get started and not wait for some time later in life, rather than just, pursuing whatever way or in whatever way you can do whatever work that you can do. So that's a very good small advice having a very powerful big impact.
Thanks.
And any story that you would like to share? or any
Uh,
anecdote, any experience which stands out in your memory?
See, the thing is, when we used to go on these distribution drives, and when I say distribution drive, I mean that we would distribute old but reused clothes, toys, footwear to, people in slums or outside government hospitals. I remember that, during our drives initially, we would distribute these items, and word would spread. So there would be a flock of people around us. I mean, people would flock around us, and then we would give away, say a sari, a pair of trousers, jute bachon ke liye, pair of footwear, and word would spread amongst people there that stuff is being given away, and by the end of the distribution drive, I would actually have dry blood marks on my arm, right? Because people dig into your, forearm, wanting something, out of that, that entire lot of, items that we were distributing. So there would be, nakhun ke nishan, like they say, right?
Right.
And I remember looking at my arms, more than once, because there would be such a mad rush to pick up items, because the need in India is so high. And like I said, jitna karo kam hai. In a country like ours, and so that was one incident that used to recur, on the distribution drives that we used to go for. And then there was this one other time when I remember the look on a man's face when we gave his 7-year-old a pair of shoes, and he looked at me and told me in in the local language, that is Telugu. He said, "Madam, this is his first pair of footwear, at the age of 7." So, on the one hand, that was heartbreaking that, children in cities, children from regular middle class, upper middle class homes get so much early on. And here was a boy who was 7 years old getting his first pair of footwear. So I can't forget the look on the father's face. He was so grateful to get that pair of footwear. And so these are just, some of the million human stories that we encounter. I mean, I could go on, Ji.
I can imagine.
But I also have to also mention this one particular incident that happened in 2020 when the lockdown was imposed, and there was a lady in Muscat, and here I'm switching gears a little bit. This was a case of domestic violence, and you must have heard that during the lockdown, the number of domestic abuse cases went up, manifold, because people were at home. And there was a lady in Muscat who called her sister in the US, who called us in Hyderabad and said that, look, my sister is being physically assaulted by her spouse, and she's got a 6-year-old son, and she needs help. And we went into a huddle here in Hyderabad, wondering what we could do. And then we have a bunch of people, a chapter of Bring a Smile in the Middle East as well. So sent word there, and our team member there spoke to someone on an airline, and believe it or not, in June 2020. On the first flight out of Muscat, this young woman and her son were on their way to India. So it was
It must
we
have
heaved such
been.
a yeah we were so we heaved such a sigh of relief, and it was such a satisfying experience that we were able to literally make a difference in her life, because she was fearing for her life. So it was like a life and death situation, really. But got her out by coordinating, with so many stakeholders. And I always believe it's always team effort, right? You can never do too much on your own. One person can only do so much, but it was just wonderful people who came together, from 3 countries, and brought this lady and her son safely out of there, back to her home in India. So yeah, that's
That's
another incident.
wonderful. And if people would like to connect with you or would like to be a part of your organization or do something similar, So, how should
Hmm.
they connect with you? If you could share your social media link.
Sure. So, Bring a Smile. We are active on social media. We have a Facebook page, of course. It's called. I mean, the URL would be facebook.com/Bring a Smile Hyderabad. But if I may just add, we have 500 people across the globe, and we have 9 geographies that we where we have members from Bring a Smile who reside there. So we have a Facebook page, we have an Insta page, a Twitter handle, and yeah, it's essentially on these three social media platforms that we have our presence. In case anybody wants to reach out to us, I think if they send us a message via Facebook, that typically works fastest. I can always, speak to the concerned person, and like I said, since we operate a lot via WhatsApp, we have groups really designated in different cities, and we are happy to sort of have more hands on deck, people who are willing to help humanity, because that is the core essence of Bring a Smile, right? We are here to do our bit for humanity. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. And to all the listeners, if you all want to connect with ma'am, so please do check out her Facebook page. As she had said, that is the easiest and the most responsive place. And ma'am, you all are doing such a great job. And I pray that we all can just get up and be there on the ground and with a smile.
Thank you, Naji. Yes, that's the whole objective and idea, that we just do whatever we can to bring a smile on someone's face, because life is short and we have to make it count.
True, and do keep inspiring all of us, including me and others, and spread the positive light. It
Thank you
was
so much.
it was great learning about what you all are doing and getting so much of information that how we all can start in small ways. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience and your journey.
Thank you so much, Naji, for having me over.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye. This is Ms. Archana Suresh from Hyderabad, India, with her NGO, Bring a Smile Foundation. What started as a casual conversation between a mother and daughter is now talk of the town. Acting as a bridge from have to have nots, her aim is to improve the quality of the needy people, especially the girls. With a strong faith in Almighty, prayers, and her support system, she strives to expand her smiling wings with each project and services her team offers. She shared that to make the change, it needs to start from self. Our actions should be monitored, and we should volunteer in whatever way we can. We should start small but be consistent, was her advice. The work done by volunteers is priceless. It is indeed a conscious effort by each one of them that helps to make a difference in other people's lives, and with that, her vision is to service the legitimate request of help across the philanthropic spectrum. On that note, let's take a vow to contribute back to the society and make it a better place for all of us, and indeed a more inclusive one. That brings us to the end of this wonderful, inspirational episode. Next week, same time, hope to see you with our another guest and their amazing journey. Till then, take care and be safe. Bye.